Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Charmaine and today we'll be doing another episode of Will I Buy It? So if you do not know what a Will I Buy It video is, it's basically me just talking about new makeup releases over the past 2 weeks, talking about whether I would hypothetically want to buy them or not. I usually base my information of this account on Instagram by the name of TrendMood1 and also random brand news and announcements that I might see along the way as I scroll Instagram. I also like to log into Sephora Singapore to check out whatever new things that they have, if they have any new arrivals. Usually the case is they don't really have many new interesting things, but I think this week we might have some interesting stuff on there. And because we know that Will I Buy It videos are very long, let's just get started. The first release that we have today is from Too Faced. It is their new Peach Perfect Instant Coverage Matte Concealer. So this new pot concealer is going to be launched in 17 different shades. It also comes with a Mr. Cover Up Perfect Concealer Brush to go with the launch. This looks like a really nice pot concealer that is going to be really good for covering like acne spots and other blemishes that one might want to cover up. And I kind of saved this because it kind of caught my attention with the cute packaging with the peach and things like that. But other than the fact that it's a pot concealer, that it's new from Too Faced, and also because I like their Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer, I don't know, I know that Too Faced does quite good base and complexion products. I guess that's why I was immediately drawn towards this product, but I'm not sure if I'll actually go ahead and get this. I might swatch it in stores if I ever make it outside again in this climate of panic. But if I do, and if I am going to be swatching and I find that it's nice, I might buy it, but I don't think it's something that I would just log on to Sephora to buy off the bat. And then next up, this one is really exciting. I actually reposted it on my Instagram stories the other day, the moment it was announced. So Fenty Beauty is coming out with their Cheeks Out collection, which are cream bronzers and blushes, which is really exciting because I really love cream products, especially cream blushes. From the post, it looks like the color range would be really nice. I think the colors in this range goes from like really pale and shimmery and nice all the way to like really dark ones. So there's definitely something from every single skin tone, which I think is really Fenty Beauty like, and I really like that about it. And the cream bronzers comes in 7 different shades if I'm not wrong, and it looks like it has a really nice range of shades as well. So I'm not really interested in cream bronzers per se. Don't mind trying them. I don't think I have one that is really my color right now, and maybe that's why I'm not trying them out as much as I should or want to. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna go ahead and buy a Fenty Beauty cream bronzer to try right now. I would choose the blusher over the bronzer at any time. In this episode of Colourpop launches, we have 3 different ones that I bookmarked. The first one will be the Full Beat Blending Sponge Kit, which contains 5 different makeup sponges in different finishes and shapes. This was really eye-catching because, I mean, it's just a sponge, and I don't even use makeup sponges that much anymore. It's not something that I would go out to buy if I was rational, but as you can see, it has like really cute pastel packaging, and if you've used sponges in your makeup before, you will know that that color doesn't stay on for very long, because like once you're in dabbing and blending your foundation and stuff, it's just gonna turn into the shade of your foundation basically. So it's really just a packaging thing, which I truly appreciate, but at the same time I see through them. Continuing with their, I guess, floral theme for this year, for their 9-pan eyeshadow palette range, Colourpop has launched the Making Mauves collection, which includes a 9-pan eyeshadow palette, 2 blushes, 2 Super Shock shadows, and 2 luxe lip glosses. And when I saw this, I was like, do I really need another palette of pinky purples? To be fair, I don't have a palette that is super mauvey in the sense that this one is, so it is very easy to talk myself into buying this. It's actually really attracting my attention, and I really want to get it. The entire collection looks really good to me. The colors right up my alley. I love my purples, even though I don't really think I look that good in purple eyeshadow, but this being like a mauvey sort of purple shade, it means that it has enough pink in it for me to make it work, you see. And so I guess wanting this collection is not as irrational as most of my wants tend to be, I guess. The last and final Colourpop release that I saved here is their collaboration with the new Disney movie, the live action of Mulan. If we take the collaboration out of the picture, I would say that this collection is basic as it gets, with its warm toned browns, golds, and its reddish burgundies. I would walk away from this anyways. But if we take the collaboration aspect into account, I'm not gonna get it even if I like it. Because I am so disappointed by what I've been seeing in the trailers for the movie. I hesitate to really just downright bash that movie because I haven't seen it in person. But from the trailers, I'm like, what are they doing? I'm just gonna go off on a tangent for a little bit and talk about the movie. So basically, my thoughts about the movie is, if they're trying to make this movie something even better than it already was, and they're trying to pander to the Chinese market, shouldn't it be nicer to just stick truer to the actual story of Mulan than, I don't know, adding a sorceress? I don't know, the trailer alone makes me question the entire production, and I've heard that there's no Mushu in the show, and is there even Shang in the show? I'm not sure. I was a really big fan of Mulan, the animation, because they have one of the best soundtracks, and also because I guess in some part of my kiddie childish mind brain, I appreciated the fact that someone who looks like me is represented in cartoon format. So I really liked the show. I haven't watched it since I grew up, so I can't really be sure if I wouldn't be insulted or offended by the animation if I watched it again, because it might very well be really very racist and I don't know it. When I was flying back from Japan to Singapore, me and Sam watched Aladdin on the plane, and while I could see that that movie was sort of entertaining, it was weird, and I don't even think it's gonna be anywhere near how the actual lifestyle and traditions of olden day / ancient Middle East would be like. So I don't know, I have reservations about this. Don't know if I'm gonna watch it because I'm still scarred from the Aladdin experience. So yeah, I have a lot of question marks about this, so I'm not gonna get it because I don't know if I want to support that movie at all. But even if I end up approving of that movie in the end, it's still really very basic. But I guess it will be a really good move for the company in terms of how the color scheme and the eyeshadows inside it is basic enough for anyone of any level of skill to be able to utilize this palette. So in that sense, I understand it. But other than that, I'm gonna wait for the next warm brown eyeshadow palette to drop and I'll buy that one instead. Alright, so moving on, we have another warm eyeshadow palette that launched, and this one is the new Rust palette from Melt Cosmetics, and that is really exciting because the Rust stack was one of the most popular stack eyeshadows that Melt has ever released, and it's actually quite iconic, I think. If you think of the stack shadows, I think the Rust stack is the one that comes to mind when you think of it instantly, or at least that's what comes to my mind when I think of the stacks from Melt. So to have Melt turn this iconic stack into an eyeshadow palette, so in essence updating the packaging in a sense, I think it's really exciting. I understand that now that there's been a shift and some palettes has become more cool toned and less straight up orangey brown, the warm browns are starting to offer that sort of contrast that wasn't there before. So in that sense, I think that this move from Melt might actually be quite smart, because even for me, I think it stood out to my eyes too. And I remember a time when I was so done with all the warm palettes on the market, but now looking at this, I'm like, chocolatey rich goodness, it looks so good. Will it be the first palette that I will buy from Melt? No. I think if I am in need of a new warm brown palette, this palette would be one of my first choices if I ever need to start thinking about owning or getting a new warm palette to add to my collection. It's not the most exciting launch that Melt has done, but it is still a beautiful collection. And then next up, I have this bright little yellow bottle of sunscreen from Fenty Beauty. It is going to be launching soon. I think it's going to come out in the Trend Mood box first. So in the near future, it's going to come into stores, I guess. This is their weightless liquid mineral sunscreen with zinc oxide, SPF 30 broad spectrum. The yellow packaging caught my attention, so I saved it. I don't know, it looks really nice. I think this is the first time Fab has ever done yellow packaging, which is really very exciting. The fact that they produce a sunscreen is also really exciting because like everyone needs sunscreen, so it's definitely something that anyone can use. And if I'm actually looking for a new sunscreen, I might be interested in trying this one because Fab actually does really good like skincare products. The description says that it has an ultralight formula, invisible, non-greasy finish, packed with antioxidants, and it also defends against environmental aggressors and pollution that contributes to early skin aging, and has a sheer tint that blends seamlessly into all skin tones, oil-free and non-comedogenic so it wouldn't clog pores. Wear alone or under makeup. So it can be like a makeup base of sorts if you're like me and you use your sunscreen as a makeup primer. I like the fact that it has a tint because I know that a lot of people don't really like the fact that sunscreen gives a white cast. I'm perfectly fine with the white cast that sunscreen gives me, but that's also because of my own preference. I might cave and get this because it's yellow. On top of many other reasons, including the fact that my Clarion sunscreen is running out. Okay, the last thing I saved here is surprisingly from Artist Couture. So Artist Couture is a brand that I've never been really interested in. I'm not really someone that is very into the Mac Daddy aesthetics. He looks flawless from every angle, and his makeup is always like on point, and I can appreciate it, but it's not my type of aesthetics. But surprisingly, this launch actually caught my attention. So it is a launch called the Supreme Nudes, and it comes with an eyeshadow palette with 12 eyeshadows and a new formula of lipstick called the Silk Cream Lipsticks. It has 6 shades. It's a satin finish lipstick that gives a little bit of shine, but they are all nude lipsticks. It also has Diamond Glow powders available too from this collection. Not interested in the Diamond Glow powder at all. The eyeshadow palette somehow caught my attention. It's just a nude palette, but it seems to have like one of these colors that look a little bit like a shifty olivey green sort of shade. Tiny little bit of spice to it. I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing, but the nudes in this palette has like that peachy greeny nuance to it. Like they're pretty much just nudes and browns and some golds here and there. Nothing too different. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of an evening glow, like the setting sun with that orangey tint tinting everything that it touches. Just think of that soft setting sun's glow, that kind of warm tinge of orange that shines onto everything and then tints everything in a really nice warm light. I feel like that's the best way I can describe this palette to you. I'm not sure if I'm just being super poetic for no reason. It is a nude palette, but I think it is a nude palette that has a certain sort of soul that I don't really see in nude palettes anymore. In the event that I'm getting the palette, I'm gonna get a couple of lipsticks to try. But if I'm never gonna get a palette, then I don't really think there's a need for me to go and find nude lipsticks from this collection. So I guess what I'm saying is the palette is the star of the show for me. Okay, so that's all that I have from Trend Mood 1. There's really not a lot of like interesting new launches for me to talk about this time around, I think. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of launches. It's just not as exciting as I feel like things can get. So now I'm just on the new arrival section of Sephora. The most exciting thing about Sephora SG right now is that Hera, the Korean beauty brand, is now on Sephora, which is really exciting because I don't know why, there's something about having a brand, especially a high-end brand, move into Sephora that makes it more approachable for me. Like, I don't necessarily feel very comfortable with approaching a counter in a department store or a standalone shop. Like Hera has both in Singapore. I've never felt like I could comfortably browse their products in those places. Having things in Sephora really makes things a lot easier for me to approach. I've always been really interested in Hera's brand. Hera is really known for their cushion foundations. It's said to be one of the best on the market, and for the longest time I actually really wanted to try out the Hera cushion foundation, but I've never gotten around to trying it because back when I wanted it, Hera was not in Singapore. And then when Hera came into Singapore, I didn't really feel very good about approaching the counters. So that's that. And then now that I don't really use cushion foundations as much anymore, although I feel like I should, since It's so fast and efficient, and I love a cushion foundation, but I don't know what's wrong. I guess I'm in a phase for foundation that I can just blend in with a brush. In the entire lineup that is now available on Sephora, I think I'm most interested in the two foundations, which is the Glow Lasting Foundation with SPF 20 PA++, and the black foundation, which I assume is a fuller coverage foundation. They are at quite a price point, but nothing unexpected for a Sephora brand that's more on the high end. So the foundations are about $75 to $79. The cushion foundations are also about around the same price at $68 or $75, depending on which foundation you're talking about. I've been seeing a lot of girls, Korean girls, watching the lipsticks, the new lipsticks from Hera. Might want to try them, but for $43, I'm not sure if I'll ever, I'm not sure if I am feeling rich enough yet to just drop $43 on like a single lipstick. It's definitely not the most expensive lipstick out there, but $43 is still quite a hefty sum for a lipstick. If only my younger self can hear me now. I used to buy lipsticks like they costed nothing. Alright, so after Hera, we have the MAC Cosmetics Glow Play Blush. I think it's like a bouncy creamy powder blush hybrid thingy. The Glow Play Blush is $49, so I would rather just order like 5 blushes from Colourpop instead. But the price aside, I think the colours look stunning. I know that they have like this sheer-like texture that makes it look really natural on your skin and stuff, and it looks like you're glowing from within. I've seen many girls use it on Instagram, so I know how it ultimately will look like on your skin, and I think I will really like it. But at the same time, I don't think that I would drop like a whole $50 on it. There's a new skincare line in town. It's also by Allies of Skin. It's called PSA, the Purposeful Skincare by Allies. I've tried one thing from Allies of Skin. It was like a sample packet of their Promise Keeper blemish thing. I don't know, it's like an overnight mask or something, or like a treatment. That thing really like just cleared up my acne within like half a day. But unfortunately, I could never afford that full-size tube of skincare goodness because it was $159. I don't have that kind of money to spend on this kind of stuff. So it's quite nice to see that they have like a sister brand right now. The PSA is like something that, if I'm not wrong, has a lower price point. So all of their stuff are in bottles. They have 4 stuff online at the moment. They have a hyaluronic serum. They have an acids and prebiotic perfecting night serum. They have a bakuchiol retinol night oil, and also a mandelic and licorice glow toner. So 4 items, and all of them are at about the $40 price range, which is a lot more affordable than their other line. Did they start this because they knew that the other line was a bit too expensive for people to want? I wouldn't say that I would get it right away because I do have quite an extensive skincare collection right now that I'm trying to use up, but I definitely see the potential of me actually trying out this brand in the future. Not near future, just in the future. What else is exciting on here? Oh, the Too Faced Born This Way Turn Up the Light highlighter palette is up on the site, as well as the Born This Way The Natural Nudes complexion inspired eyeshadow palette is also up on the site, which is great because I at one point really wanted this launch. I'm still kind of interested in the highlighter palette actually. Not sure if I'll actually get it. Now that I'm seeing it and it's like $65 for a highlighter palette and $69 for eyeshadow palette. Actually, it's not that bad if you think about it. $65, if you divide it by 3, it's about $20-ish for like one highlighter. But if you think about it, I can get Flexitarian at like less than $10. Or maybe $10 if you convert it. So it's still quite a lot of money for a product. I don't know. Colourpop has like spoiled me with their price range. So sorry. I'm like comparing everything to like Colourpop prices right now. I guess I wouldn't mind that it's this price if it is good, but so far from the content that I've been watching online, it seems to me that it has like quite mixed reviews, so I'm not sure if it's gonna be worth my $65. So with that, I am done with today's Will I Buy It video. These are all the things that I find exciting and have or is going to be newly launched, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video and hanging out with me as I chat about new makeup releases. So as always, if you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to my channel down below. It's totally free and you get updated on when I post a video, because I probably get drowned out by all the other bigger YouTubers out there that you watch. And with that, if you want to follow me on Instagram, Right, if you want to follow me on Instagram and if you want to check out this look right here that I did, you can't really see it behind the glasses, can you? Let me just put this down so you can tell. So I kind of did like a red liner sort of double winged look featuring the BC palette from Colourpop. It will be on my Instagram. My handle is CharmaineCCW right here. I post this and a lot more other makeup related content on there. And I will also link this video down below for your convenience if it's up already. And with that, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye!